Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode on the Leong with FVR. Today we have Baby
Penny,
Leong. Thanks for coming.
thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and we are very glad we finally got the opportunity to do this after such a hectic schedule that people will know eventually in the future. Who knows? But first and foremost, tell us a little more about you.
Okay, so I should be looking at you, right? Oh, there, okay.
Hello.
So hello, for those who are tuning in into my friend's channel. I think this is probably the first YouTube video interview that I have been doing. So my name is Penny, so I'm currently pursuing this MBA program together with Fabian in Asia School of Business. So if I were to use 3 words to describe myself, that would be, I think I'm someone who is very dynamic, adventurous, and fun. I'm a very fun person, I would say that. Maybe sometimes too much or crazy, So I have been in the people development industry for the past 10 years and been running my own ventures since then, and I have this, entrepreneurial blood, I think, in me that I can't really stay in one place for too long. So I think to sum it up, that's about myself, about what I do, and roughly describing about myself. Yeah.
That's good. Very impressive to know that you have been in this for a decade. So I believe that there was always ups and downs, and there have been always things that you realize that it's time to overcome.
Yes, I think there are times in life, I think even you yourself, or maybe someone you are listening right now, or you are viewing this video right now, I think there will be time in life we started to question, why are we here, right? I mean the big question, like, who am I? Why am I doing what am I doing, right? So I think these constant questions have been in my head, for the past, maybe I would say 12 years in my career experience, or even, living that long, okay? Not that long, okay? 12, okay. No, 12 years of getting into society and, started to work and chasing money, wanted to achieve that, big audacious goal, ambition, you wanted to be someone, wanted to be successful. So I think whenever I feel down is the moment that I started to question that that kind of big question for most of us that we ask ourselves. So I think those downtime is where it comes the self-awakening moment that I tend to look inward and started to dig deeper towards myself. I remember there was, I think I shared this to some of friends, there was a time, I don't know about you, but there will be time we ask ourselves, oh, do I really want to run this life as it is right now? We always think will this gonna be like this? Or can I do more? Can I be more? Right? So there was a time when I was 23, I think, yeah. I always had this sense of guilt if I'm not being productive, or I think I'm not achieving enough. So that was the time I started to really ask myself, why can't I stop working? I don't know about a lot of people when we are chasing things in life, but I do have those knock moments, and I started to be really aware about my own well-being, Because I think in our social structure, or I do not know about every one of you here, being brought up as a typical Chinese family in Malaysia, we are being taught to be competitive, We are being taught to be, you need to score good grades, get to a good school, and get a good job in the corporate.
Okay.
But I think I have always been in the black sheep, not even just in my family, but I think among my peers. I always choose the road that tends to be quite risky, that people don't understand. Why do you want to start your own thing? Why don't you just look for a corporate job? When I chose to hustle myself, I chose to build my own stuff and do my own thing, right? There were times you did not know when to stop. You just wanted to keep on chasing more and build it to become better and get more money, to be real, right? So day and night, until the point of time where this moment really struck me. Like I really asked myself, why can't I just stop for a moment? I do not know how to appreciate those moments where the pause, a good break could be a rejuvenation period, and we can think clearer of it. That time, I think at that point of time, I couldn't realize. Then I started to really look into energy management. Yeah, I know a lot of people tend to ask questions like, sorry, I know your question is about up and downs for the past 10 years.
But energy management is something that many people can confuse, because once a year the world will be like, oh yeah, another corporate shield just trying to get money from the old companies. And it's like, no, it's not that kind of energy.
Yeah. I think I'm totally not talking about that kind of energy. But when I say every day without us realizing we are investing our energy in a lot of things, especially our emotion. Don't you think so? I mean, the emotion is running in within us that no one knows, that our little drama, like when someone says something, or when we are just having that thought can actually is the energy that we invest in. So when I say energy management, is about, a lot of people talk about, how can I perform better? How can I do this more effectively? There are a lot of how, right? Just to be more and more and more in the world that we are currently living in. But more for what? When we start to when we are able to start to question ourselves, to become more of what? To do more for what? I think that is the time we are being aware of and being thoughtful about where I want to spend my energy into. When I say energy, it means the overall well-being, I think. And I think there are like 4 levels of energy when I'm talking about.
You mentioned 4 levels.
Yeah, like 4 levels. Yes,
okay.
4 levels. Like the first one, physical.
Okay.
Every day you need to go to workplace, you need to be there for some meetings. You're gonna use your physical energy to be there to get the work done, right? So that's the first level of energy that we are talking about. Just like for all of your information, we are doing it at 11:35. We just finished a class, and I think Fabian has been like up for more than
14 hours.
14 hours, but he's still here doing this, you see? And it can show that the physical energy, and I don't know how many hours that he went for a run or something, okay, for today. So that's the physical energy that we are talking about. It requires us for that physical energy demands, right? And the second level of energy, like it or not, our mental energy. It's actually, what people understand is the intellectual energy. It's like you're gonna use your brain to think.
Wait a second, mental energy is not the one that you can move things?
No.
Because I believe that's another one, right?
I mean, we all watch Matrix, right? We all have our very own unique interpretation about how we understand about Matrix, and I think it's real. I mean, for me personally, I really do think that brain.
No kidding. What is gonna be next? To realize that the US dollar is not backed up by gold?
Yes. So intellectual and mental energy is where we are using most of our energy to think. Like we just finished class. In the class we use a lot of our mental energy to try to understand something. And there we go to the third level of energy, which is emotional energy. Like it or not, or whether are we being aware or not, we have emotions. We are human beings. We are not AI. We have feelings like whether are we feeling happy? Are we feeling okay today? What does it mean by okay? Are we like constantly assessing how we feel? How do we feel? But it's not about someone just asking us in a very surface level, like, hey, how are you doing today? So it's not about how are you doing, but it's more like we ask ourselves, how am I feeling right now? Or how did I feel today generally? So those are the emotional energy. Like there are moments we feel excited, there are moments we feel demotivated. Without putting any meaning or judgment towards any feelings, that means we are being aware of our emotional energy. That means we can detach ourselves. Okay, I hope it's not too deep right now, but emotion is something we can't avoid. It's just about are we being aware or not? And are we being truthful to ourselves, to our feelings? So it's kind of like, okay, it's getting deeper there. Emotion is something that some people might not be showing it, but internally they are feeling it. And some people can feel it when someone is getting angry, when someone is getting upset, when someone is, sometimes you will just ask your colleague, hey, how are you feeling today? And that person will just say, today just, their face expression can tell you how they feel that day, right? So, and then there goes the fourth level.
Which is?
Spiritual.
Okay.
Yeah? When I say spiritual, I think in my personal interpretation, it's not about religion, or it's not about, it's just a practice. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it like you practice mindfulness activity. Like you are being able to spend just sometimes with your own soul.
Okay.
Yeah?
Keep going.
Yeah. So spiritual is like we are connecting to the higher self. Yeah?
It's like you are transcending.
In a way, yes, I believe that we have a higher self, which is I think in the book of this Napoleon Hill. So he has written the first chapter of the book. The Think Rich and Grow Rich is like a classic from Napoleon Hill, right? I always remember the first chapter he talked about faculty of intelligence. Like everyone basically have this faculty of intelligence, or some people call it faculty of creativity, like creative source of energy. Yeah. So how do we tap onto this faculty of intelligence? It's basically like how much are we really connected to this spiritual self of ourselves. So you see, like if we see some people, the energy, when we say some people energy is misaligned or disaligned or it's not aligned, right? That person will easily get influenced by the environment. Yeah, or we say that, maybe that particular person do not have that self-awareness. Or you can feel that, just layman terms, like, I think he's not doing alright. When we see some people, sometimes you can just feel it because
on the misalignment, you realize by first sight, okay, something is off.
Yeah, just very simple, like someone that didn't exercise. You can feel the energy level is actually different from someone who exercised in a regular period of time. Because you train your energy, your body can already tells you that. Oh, by the way, body is a super intelligent machine that we ever have during this lifetime. That's why this body can already tell a particular person, do they have energy or not? Because everything required energy. That's why when I started to realize how important is to be aware of my energy, that's where I really take control. Particularly I didn't share a lot of my life events. Maybe if you want another episode, we can talk about it. But for me, those are the adults moment where I feel they are awakening moment that I need to understand.
So through the peaks and valleys, it was through the valleys that you realized that, okay, those were moments of awareness.
Yes, and the moment of awaken to understand how important is to exercise the energy muscle. Energy is something that we can't see, but we do feel it. Just like the electricity. Just one switch, and we got the light. But we didn't see how the electricity actually passed through, right? So that's why if there's one message I really wanted to, if there's one value out of this interview
that you want to send across,
that
one, right?
will be this. We'll be like, let's be aware about and harness this energy that we all have as a human being. Yeah.
So across your experience, which has been the people that you find the most unaware of their energy levels?
Wow. How about you? Let me ask you. Like, how would you assess yourself in these 4 levels of energy? If there's a scale of it. Like 1 to 5 in each level. I saw he has been running every day and he has been working out quite hard in the gym. So I think you are someone who has that awareness.
Yeah, that's for the body in order to maintain ourselves healthy, but also for the spiritual. Sometimes Either I read the Bible as a Christian Catholic.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I'm trying to see where is a church. Another point of awareness is actually when we have the opportunity to be like in an event with more people.
Yeah.
You can feel when you read the room, it's like,
Yes.
okay, watch out with that circle, watch out with that sector, there is an avenue, you can go there, just wait until you have a chance, and then go back and reassess and keep attacking the other angles, because there are some energy levels that you
Yes.
have to realize to keep the balance, so you can also keep yourself in balance. If you are always going there, you will realize you cannot keep the peace, and you have to
Yeah,
take
like
a
not
moment for
in
yourself.
sign, right? Like it's like not in synchronization with the energy
Uh-huh.
level of that particular environment in that specific setting, right?
Mhm.
So I totally agree with you. You just hit another key point, which I think is the word balancing. So if the first step without without awareness, there wouldn't be. We understand how to balance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I will throw back the question to you, right? Like you understand. That's why you will make sure in your routine or you make it as a ritual, part of the ritual to maintain or to even elevate the well-being, the state of well-being of your own self, so that you can have the clarity and performing better, right? So if you were to ask me, just like when we go to any sort of seminars, events, or we meet certain people, I think immediately you can feel someone who has that awareness or someone who didn't practice that awareness. Yeah? And usually the group of people that we met, that you know that they have a certain awareness and they have been having this pretty vibrant energy. This group of people will usually draw people to them without needing to push for things. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think sometimes it's that everyone can access to this energy management. I mean, tapping into managing our own energy. But I think throughout, maybe for the past 2 to 3 decades, there are a lot of teachings, or there are a lot of models or techniques, just different interpretation in around the world, started to talk about a lot of mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I see the point.
Yeah, mental health. I think especially during this pandemic, this period of time where people started to really surfacing a lot of like negative emotion, like no longer can hold on to stress.
Yeah, because they cannot find a break.
Exactly, locking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these are real, you know. But the fact is, we are not. When we have that awareness with how can we manage our energy, we need to exert energy to be aware. Because to be aware is that you need to use your balanced energy to be aware. Oh, I'm not too deep. Okay, I'm not so philosophical.
It's very important because right now what or people will watch is like every time you face social interaction, you realize your energy levels.
Yeah.
And if you're not self-aware, that means that you are the one who is not aware.
Yes.
That happens all the time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing up another very important point, social media. Our attention span on social media, just without being aware of what information we choose to believe. I think recently there's a very good movie on Netflix called Don't Look Up.
Yeah, really good one.
That is a really good one. People just don't believe in science anymore.
Yeah.
Which is true. Because, if you touch, thank you for using the word awareness precedes what I'm going to say, like energy management as a whole thing. Like, if this is the thing I'm going to preach over and over again. Like, how important it is that we take back control of what we already have. And without us being aware, the time that we spend on scrolling all the social medias.
You need discipline.
Yeah, exactly. We need even more discipline because it makes you feel good and bad and whatever complexity of emotions that we are feeling inside if you are not being aware. Like
The dopamine levels. Every time you scroll down or scroll up, it's because you are trying to validate yourself through the likes or through the retweets in order to increase your dopamine level that you are doing something productive, quote unquote. And that's a big issue because that was something that we discussed today in the morning with Ashman. That most likely is going to watch this episode as well. He was asking about what is the influence of LCDs or DFTs or hypnotic dose on the creativity. And it was because it can increase innovation or explore new angles. But the problem is, as you increase dopamine levels, as scrolling in the social media, then you get addicted. And then you don't have the discipline to discern from the good from the bad.
yeah, and I think it's not just about it. When we always like to quote like younger generation or the Generation Z or the millennials or no, I think it's across generation that being exposed to social media. It's regardless of whether are we Generation Z, millennials, or I think it's regardless of that point. But whoever is it's you get on that without being aware. Like I myself is really practicing asking myself, why do I want to pick up the phone right now? Is there really a need for me to just pick up my phone and just tap on the apps? This required energy to be aware. Why am I switching on my IG?
That's a good point.
You understand? Like this, for me, even I myself putting myself in an experimentation mood, right? Like I'm experimenting how unaware.
If you want to experiment yourself, you need to put like an area of control, an area of experimentation, right? So how was that?
Like now, I'm putting my phone away. I mean, I'm like, yeah, a lot of people talking about how can I be really total present. I think nowadays total presence means like this. Like a conversation like this. I'm not talking about, I'm talking here, but I'm not thinking about something else.
Which is something that it can be a sword of two edges because you can be in the present, but at the same time, words can hurt. And if you miss a step, one word that is supposed to not be on that sentence, you can generate an action that other people will feel or misinterpret.
Yes, and it linked me to realize also awareness is actually the mother of clarity. Let me repeat that again.
Okay.
Awareness is actually the mother of clarity. Like a lot of people want to be clear, like I want to know what I want to do next. I want to know how I can do this better. Is there a better way? Is that more innovative way? Is there more creative way? But all this required when we have really a clear mind. Very layman term. So how can we really practice the clarity muscle? It's actually from how aware are we towards ourselves. Like how aware of us towards ourselves and to the environment and to the people around us. Like how easy we can form a prejudgment or biases.
It can be even dangerous today to do that.
Yeah, because if you're not aware, the brain will tend to be so lazy that it will just fit the meaning or the familiarity of the meaning that you have or the perception that you have towards that particular person. Whenever he or she trying to do something or a behavior that triggered you. But without understanding this process, we will just say, you see, you look at that person, it's like this. But without understanding that behavior is what caused that behavior. You understand? That's why this required energy, isn't it?
Pretty much, because there is people who always like to push other ones to say, okay, how can I make them move at my will?
Yes.
And they are the first ones to be annoyed when that person doesn't react in that way.
Yeah, totally agree. So that's why, okay, I think if I'm like stray away from the main question just now, which is how can we feel people on energy level, based on energy level, right? I think everyone can feel it. It's just that like we go back to the fundamental key of today, which is how aware are we? If we are just imagine we are like an antenna. We have that energy antenna. You can actually sense someone energy low, middle, or high. If you yourself have that in you, you are someone knowing how to manage your energy. You know, some situation is quite energy draining, by the way. If you are not aware, we're gonna drain. We're gonna feel very drained throughout the situation while we are dealing with some people who we think are difficult. For example, we always think, yeah, then the difficult people is draining our energy, but we do not understand why is it I felt so tired after that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So also I like to talk about there's a cat.
Yeah, that was okay.
Okay, sorry. So when we talk about, a lot of people talk about performance, we like to talk about how can we be more efficient, effective. Don't you realize we tend to ask this kind of question in workplace, in our own, in everything.
And not only about efficiency and performance, but how to keep the big performance.
Momentum, right? How to sustain that momentum. Because for me, life is like a marathon, it's not like 100 meters, but a lot of people live their lives like 100 meters. Because of how convenient technology is right now and how instant we wanted to be gratified.
Yeah, and it's something that people have to be fully aware. Like we have been repeating, maybe already some of you already counting, like awareness 1, 2, 3. But it is a need that if you don't measure it, then how can you improve it? That's number one. And two, breaks are always important. You cannot always ask 100% because then you are going to burn the machine. That happens most of the time, and the same with us.
Yes. That's why when Fabian, initiated this, he said, hey, let's do this interview together. I kind of like told him that, yeah, talking to you right now, right? Yeah, I would like to share about energy. I would like to share about passion in life. Because I think if without energy, we just literally not living. Right? It's like if I do not know how to manage my energy, I'm literally not living my life to the fullest. To the fullest. Right? So I think by having that awareness and being real to ourselves, being truthful to ourselves required courage to assess where we are right now. Right? To generally feel good about ourselves.
And it's important that you mention this because as you realize that a lot of people on Sunday, they always do for brunch and it's like, what are you done? Tell me about your brunch. And it's like, where you been? And it's like, first, where? Like people, it's not supposed to travel right now. Number one. Number two, why don't you, instead of going to those fancy places, why don't you go to know yourself? To connect with reality.
Thank you for bringing up this point, which is getting to know ourselves is a lifetime assignment, by the way. Which I think a lot of people tend not to do so because I'm too busy.
Or number two, are they too scared of themselves?
Oh, thank you for talking about self-care and self-love. Our big words. And if I really were to ask you probably, now it's not that you asking question, but how does it feel like to love yourself?
Good. And I will say why? Because a lot of people will be asking me again, like, tell me more about that. And it's like, listen. If you don't love yourself, who else is gonna love you? Okay? Number one. Number two, we live in a time that most people are spending time alone than with someone else. And number three, life is too short. Let's assume you find somebody, make a family, and then all of a sudden the family leaves because they live their lives, your partner expires their lives, and then you have to all again live yourself. You need to know yourself.
Agree.
Because otherwise, how else are you going to do it?
Yeah. I particularly like how you say that we spend most of our time ourselves. That doesn't mean alone, that doesn't mean loneliness. A lot of people will relate to I spend time with myself means loneliness, means I don't have someone with me, or I'm constantly needing to be with someone or something or somewhere. I needed to be at somewhere, or I need to be on social media. Now in social media, like I constantly needed to post something. I don't know, yeah.
That's number 2. Or number 3, the social pressure. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not social pressure anymore. That you have to be with someone. And it's like, that's that dangerous thing because there is a quote in Spanish, and I would say like, es mejor estar solo que mal acompañado. In English would be, it's better to be alone with bad company. And people in desperation prefer to be with somebody who is not a good fit at that right time, just because of the social peer pressure, instead of being on their own.
I think so, because we didn't ask. I think generally because we didn't initiate the self-talk and have those questions. I mean, have the courage to answer those questions ourselves. Like when you talk about, like in my way of interpreting your, just now you mentioned it in Spanish, right? There is also a saying, like when we come into this world, we are alone. So when I say we are alone, it's like we are one person. We came into this world when we just the moment when our mom gave birth to us, and when we are going to leave this world, we are also alone. You know what I mean? So it's about building connection and getting to know ourselves. Just like best friend. Like we tend to understand our best friend. We will say this particular person is my best friend because he or she understands me the most.
That's true.
Yeah. But did we ask ourselves, am I a best friend to myself?
That's the best question to answer every single morning you see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, is that person really good to me?
Yeah. That's why I felt like, yeah, it's not a simple or okay, sorry, I want to say it's not a rocket science to ask yourself how to feel, how can I make myself feel good? Right? Feel good when you are comfortably living as who you are. Okay, I'm not talking about the YOLO style of be yourself kind of stuff, but it's genuinely building that deep connection to get to know our own self. Wow, I think it's getting too intense and too deep.
Yeah, it's like the tip of the iceberg. And the tip of the iceberg is actually going deeper and deeper in the iceberg.
Probably we're gonna take it light a little bit, but yeah.
So, I remember days ago that you got some gloves. So tell us a little more about those. Are you gonna fight somewhere soon? When are you gonna sell the tickets to see the fight?
Oh, by the way, yeah, Fabian just saw me have this boxing glove. You're gonna be precise saying that it's a boxing glove. It's not just any glove, okay?
Of course.
Yeah, if you're talking about it's a medical glove.
I have to always ask. Because then they will attack me like, no, you are spreading misinformation. No, I'm not doing that. I have to ask first.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I think I pick up, I just wanted to learn something new. I think it's during last year. Last year I picked up Muay Thai and boxing, basically from my martial arts coach. He's also my fitness trainer. So he said, you know what? Have you tried combat sport before? I said no. I've always been just playing basketball, the usual sport. Where I think I have never really come across with combat sport like taekwondo, like require you to fight and etc. So I said, yeah, why not? Right? What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Got me like, now it's 12 o'clock, so I was like, what are you looking at? Okay, so continue. So that's why I was like, okay, it's during lockdown, nothing much to do. Why not challenge myself? And I can tell you the experience is like, training and sparring are like two different things.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh my god, I felt like during sparring 3 minutes, right? I felt like it has been like 3 hours. It's just 3 minutes on the sparring session, but I felt like it's a 3 hours journey. And I got like, I literally, I think the first few times when I gave it few attempts with my coach and saying that, can I run away? Can I don't do this 3 minutes? I felt, first of all, I felt the fear is real. Like, when you are really getting hit.
I mean, the fear of getting hit.
Yeah, it's like, I have to constantly protect.
Like this?
Yeah, it's like this. It's like when I need to, I can't process. It's like you need to be so intuitively practicing the move, and you just can't process it all at once, and it takes so much of endurance and practice and clarity at that point of time. It's like whatever you learn is like one, two, right? 3,
What
4.
about the strategy? Because it also involves what is going to be the move you have to sell so you can actually do the next one.
Like just now you mentioned the word balance, right? I think one of the philosophy that I really like is Bruce Lee. So his philosophy is like be like water. I think last time I don't understand. Only until when I pick up this Muay Thai and kickboxing, I started to realize, oh, now I finally understand why Bruce Lee will have this philosophy of be like water. Because what is strategy in that combat sport? It's like you are just playing with meticulous practice. We can practice every day. But when you are really on that ring, right, you just need to have that intuition. And intuition really comes from tremendous repetitions of what have you been doing. It's already in an autopilot. You know exactly when you observe your enemy, how and where it has to come together.
Yes, you always read the first post to say, okay, this is going to be the moves I'm going to do. Yeah. Otherwise, if I cannot read, I should better look around another way.
Yeah, and it's like, I remember my coach always told me, you want to punch someone, be ready that you will get punched. It's like, you need to get comfortable with the punches. It's like, you can't escape too much until your enemy lose sight. Until we are going to lose sight of that enemy, you know? So, okay, I wouldn't say the opponent. If I lose sight of my opponent, I don't know what he will do to me even next and next and next. So it's like, you need to get comfortable with overcome the fear of getting hit, basically. So yeah, that's about the glove. I'm still learning. I'm still a newbie in it.
So you are usually hitting that Muay Thai with the gloves, but I guess also Muay Thai involves the legs, right?
Yes.
So how is that?
To be honest, I only tried my hand legs like maybe twice. Like coordinating my hands and legs are quite a difficult task. I think I'm still okay. When I say kickboxing, I'm only at the phase of learning boxing. Okay, I have not even really practiced about my kickboxing because I think to coordinate my hand first until I'm confident I'm okay to use my leg. You know? So I think there's also a body coordination there. You know, so I will continue. It's getting slow these days, but I think it's fun sport to do because it actually it's also a practice of dealing with our own fear. It's again the awareness thing. It's again the inner self-talk kind of stuff. Because I remember there were training days I really felt like crying because I felt defeated. Yeah. So through the sports, it's also a way of practicing the awareness muscle. Like understanding why not I have that courage to just give it all out. You understand what I mean? It's like, oh, is it I'm afraid that I will hurt that person? Or if I don't do that, that person will do that to me. You know, there are a lot of this kind of, and a lot of time I just feel like running away, honestly. Every time I feel like, can I run away? Can I please?
Actually, this is something the GSP George St. Pierre explained to Lex Friedman maybe a week ago, that in an actual street fight,
Yeah.
the best solution is to actually run away. Do not engage in the fight because there is no referees.
Yeah, street fights.
Yeah, and if you're really gonna engage in a street fight, because I guess there is no other way, even if you know you are a UFC champion, the recommendation of GSP is do the first move because the surprise hits twice, and then once you neutralize, like either on the throat or the eyes, so the enemy cannot see you, run.
Yeah.
Because it's better to run because we don't know the other person has a weapon. So
Yeah.
even your inner instinct is actually telling you something that will happen in your life.
Yeah.
There is no shame on running.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in a street fight there is no referee. If you are in a jail like in an octagon
Yeah.
and there is a referee, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
We know their rules.
Yeah.
Right? Or in the ring.
Yeah.
But in the street, no. Preserve yourself. Your health is important.
I think one key learning so far, one of the key learnings that I pick up this combat sport, especially, I think, is dealing with my own fear. It's also in a way that, to be honest with myself, like, why am I feeling afraid of getting being punched or something? Or why can't I give my everything? Why can't I be, even in training sometimes, even just in a training mode, right? Did I really give my 100%? And it takes focus to do that.
It takes technique.
It takes technique, focus, and the strength and that moment kind of clarity to do the best. Like we ourselves know, am I giving my best, or is my mind somewhere else? That's why my mind, heart, soul, body, is it aligned? It's also a practice of that. I think that's, if I would say how I enjoy this, because it's like a practice of heart, mind, and soul, to be in that moment, giving 100%.
Heart, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
And you enter into fighting to defeat the inner insecurities, the inner demons.
Yeah.
Question: which is the fighter you admire right now?
I think the Philippines, the what?
Manny?
No. Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know the first name. Yeah. I think he's the one. I watched. My coach just sent me a few of his video.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not generally like a fan of fighters or not. But when my coach is just asked me, it's like a tutorial, okay? He's like, okay, look at how he fight, and I would say I'm not really enthusiastically like in this sport. I'm just giving myself a try. To be honest, I have never expected myself to pick up this sport, by the way. So it's something new and something I'm open to try it out, you know. So yeah, I watched his video and I'm whoa. I think I can really feel all his lifetime, the hard work that he put in to get into that ring for that few moments and for that move, and how he studied the opponent, and how he used his technique just like water at that point of time. That's Yeah. Are you interested in?
Yeah, I've been actually following UFC for years.
Wow.
So that's how I understand a little of what is going on between the grappling or the attacking, or how to counter kicks.
Wow.
Things like that. The difference between a man fight or a women fight, or why men should not fight women.
Yes.
Because it's a total biological disadvantage.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah, my coach mentioned that too.
the size of the hand.
There. Yeah. It's the same. Yeah.
Let's assume for a moment that I became a woman, or I define myself as a woman.
Yeah.
I still have this.
Yeah.
And that would be so unfair.
Yes.
So, to see that happening nowadays,
Yeah.
just in the sake of
Entertainment.
people is smarter than we know. People is smarter than we know, and they will call it out as spot.
Yes.
That's why there is something called domestic violence.
Yes.
Because that's not supposed to happen.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, you just mentioned something my coach has been keep mentioning about. Even the current Olympics, they allowed some of the transgender to participate in certain category. Yeah, I think it's the biological. It's a fact. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from because I have been hearing my coach has been sharing with me his point on that.
And that person stole, let's say that, stole the position of another woman who can be rightfully competing there. And if you want to cancel what? Cancel what is actually going on with science, biology. When you are exposed to testosterone,
Yes.
we are exposed to testosterone because as biological man we were supposed to hunt and bring the food. That was the danger.
Yes.
We're supposed to have testosterone that we can help us survive the hunting.
Yes. You also mentioned testosterone, and my coach said the same thing. He just said no matter you are transgender, the hormone is there. Yeah, that's why he I think during the Olympic 2020,
2021.
in Tokyo, that's what they said. That's what they. You just want to say, as our classmate passing by. So during the Olympic 2020, especially the weightlifting category, and my coach was like so frustrated. He said that Olympic just defeated the whole point of why are you having
the whole point of women's rights. Women fought for so many decades to have a place.
Exactly. Oh, I think my coach will love this part of the interview.
Yeah, well, it's like a podcast episode, long time chats. So that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Because let's assume for a moment in the future that you acquire enough skill to give yourself a try in the ring, because you happen.
Oh my God!
It will be unfair if somebody calls themselves a woman and try to fight you. It's like, wait a second, what is going on? Did we miss the whole point of training?
Yeah. I think you would be interested to have a conversation with my coach too. So much of similar point of views on this. Yeah. I would say I'm just a beginner, by the way. Thank you for bringing up this again. Like, ask me why I have this boxing glove and all, because I have been missing quite a lot of training recently.
It happens. First things first.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were also in basketball, right?
Oh yes.
So tell us about which position you like. You were like power forward, point guard.
Perimeter player.
Okay.
So it's like a 3-point shooter. So I never get into the. I think I'm not fast enough, and I'm not like.
But the 3-point shooters are the ones who are making the points nowadays.
It takes practice too.
Yeah.
But I understand my position in the very early days. That's why even I started to play basketball when I was 10. So it's like getting into trainings. And
it was like 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's like getting into training. I still can remember. I enjoyed basketball so much.
And which was the player you loved to see back then?
You mean NBA?
Yeah, because you picked the basketball.
No. I think not because of NBA that time. I think it's the Japan anime that time. Slam Dunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just felt like it's kind of cool to pick up that sport. And that's how my father, when I told him I wanted to play basketball, I wanted to go get trained. I wanted to participate in the school selection, for that sport, And my dad just bought me the basketball, and I think when I was 10, every evening 5 o'clock without missing it, I would just go to a half court nearby my apartment to just start shooting. Yeah. Then until I really enjoy doing that at that point of time. And even now I do play, but a lot of my peers not playing it anymore. I still need to find some players to play together. Yeah, at my age, ages ago, like Fabian mentioned. So then get into training. I learned so much drills, and then I started to watch NBA. And of course, last time, everyone knows Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and the Stephen Curry currently. Last time I used to love LeBron a lot. Like I have
You used, what happened? Did he broke your heart?
uh, yeah, maybe his attitude later on, I felt like. But I got his basketball special edition kind of like, I used to collect a lot of really like basketball. So yeah, now I think this interview is so cool that I feel like playing basketball tomorrow. It's the thrill of shooting the ball, you know, to get into that basket.
And the sound was
Shoot. Yeah. I think in our school they used to have that basketball. I don't know why they now took it back. Yeah. So yeah, only in NBA I have friends who play basketball with me. I mean, I think I played it for a few times. But I really enjoy the sport, even until now.
Yeah, I feel a little sad because everybody talks about Kobe Bryant, but nobody remembers Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan has been equally, if not better than Kobe Bryant. They were on the same age,
I understand.
but on a different team, the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah. Wow, you know so much about sports too, huh?
It happens when you're exposed to that.
Yeah, I hope this wouldn't be like a sports driven
No,
interview.
It's just about knowing people because in the end they can come back to these
Episodes.
and remember, look at that. That was when we used to talk about these. This is like a souvenir for the future. Talking from the future and also going towards the past.
Yeah. Okay.
Which piece of advice would you give to the younger men?
Wow. Is this your closing question for
No.
every interview? Younger Penny. Oh, that's a good one. Love yourself more. That would be one. And continue to follow your heart. That would be second. Follow, it's like reduce the doubt by just follow your heart, and everything will be alright. That will be the second piece of advice.
Isn't that always the way?
Sorry?
Isn't that always the way? Follow your heart and everything will be alright.
That back then when they are like, they used to be like so much more insecurities and doubtful moments about life. You know, and I think love yourself, and that two piece of advice that I would give to my younger self.
That's very important, especially nowadays when everybody wants to seek for validation and the validation will not come.
Exactly.
The validation can be in the mirror right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In your sport that you realized that it was a little too dangerous?
Sports that are too dangerous. Would you say extreme sports? I always like saying extreme. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to try and train on parkour.
Okay.
Like how people jump from one building to another building.
Wow.
I found that it's like freaking cool stuff, which my coach is already also good at it. That's why I can see how. I think I really wanted to credit this video to my coach, you know. Like I have been mentioning so much of him, by the way. His name is Coach Han and his name is Daniel. Yeah.
4 times already.
Yeah. It's like, because he has been influencing me a lot. Because I have always wondered how he can have that flexibility and that mental clarity to do such move with our body. That for me is dangerous. And thrill, and it's the coolest thing. I hope I can train. Okay, not that I hope. My coach wouldn't want to hear this. It's like I can do it as well.
Okay.
If I put myself into that intense training, like to really know how to use our body, basically, to train on the flexibility, the movement, and the art. So my coach always mentioned about these 3 elements of art. It's like how we move is actually an art. And movement, how fluid and how be like water kind of state that we can control our body to perform that sport. And the the third one, I will leave it for him next time if Fabian have a chance to interview him. So you mentioned about these three very important elements. I will leave the third one next time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
There was something that you were curious in the last days, and even people in your social feed realize that look at that, there is a cup of coffee and there is this big cover from the edge, and you were saying this fear of missing out crypto technologies.
Yeah.
So which was the question that you got back then?
You sure you've given enough context that they understand why you asking this question? Okay. I wonder really how many people who invested in cryptocurrency really do understand what does blockchain technology is all about.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I have been.
It's like the tip of the iceberg, and then you have the whole iceberg right there that people is unaware, or they don't want to be aware, which is another question.
Yes.
So, and they only see that shiny thing that is like, oh, look at that, this is how much is trading, this is how much Solana, Ethereum, or Cardano is right now, and how much I can win.
Exactly.
And they don't see the background behind, like which is a proof of work or a proof of a stake, or how much energy it takes to actually generate one of those coins, or how much is the benefit that I can do for my company or for my society at large. They don't see that. They only want to see, it only costs $2 or it only costs $3,000, and that's how much I'm going to win. There is a need to say if you are going to enter into this, you should know the side effects.
Exactly. Like to follow up that question, very good, because I have been wondering how people view numbers and how they feel about numbers and value. Because for me, investing in crypto without understanding the whole technology behind it, it's like it's like a lot of people are having this herd mentality, like what you just mentioned about FOMO, right? I have been wondering really how much real value has been capturing. So, okay, I don't think I'm the best person that I can talk about cryptocurrency. I mean social economically, in a social logically point of view, that's how I can view it. Like how people really understand, how much do people really invest their time to understand about what are they investing? Or is it just an up and down thing for them? Now, this is just my general question when the other day when you came across my post, you know.
It's important because when a stock is under the light, it's because that stock is overvalued. Most of the money you wanted to do on that stock was already done before. Like when you hear your grandma talking about Ethereum, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Most of the money was already done.
Yeah.
And then you have right now people talking about the next Shiba Inu, the next Dogecoin, the next baby coin, and it's like, come on. If they already start talking about that, people already made money before.
Yeah.
And right now, you have case of influencers like James Z or Logan Paul trying to scam their fans saying, we have this project, buy this coin, and the next thing you know, they do a rug pull, and they escape with the money, and the people who bought get the money to zero. That's what is going on right now.
I think there are a lot have been, just like the Netflix movie Don't Look Up. I think it's really a very relevant movie to describe and to depict and to portray the current ignorance that people really do have sometimes when everyone just want to keep quick money, which I don't understand why. Yeah, like I say, we are living in this world of instant gratification, right? And everyone see everyone on social media, wanted to have that lifestyle, this lifestyle, and they just try not to think. You get what I mean? It's like, if just by thinking about it, we would have that discernment, we would have that clarity to to ask ourselves, what am I investing in, or why do I want to invest what I invest? The purpose of investment.
Exactly. Purpose of investment, or diversification of portfolio, or how you actually make time your friend. People have been saying, but look at that, look Warren Buffett, and I'm like, hey,
Yes.
calm down.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett already made a lot of money in the last years because he used time as an asset.
Yes. Thank you for.
They were patient to do that.
Yeah, and a lot of people have disregard the essence of time, I think. You know, in Chinese, in the Chinese proverb, we have these 4 words. Okay, I'm going to mention it in Chinese. I will send it to you. It's called 拔苗助长.
拔苗助长.
拔苗 means when we are growing something, when we wanted to plant something and grow something. Every day you go and check it out, you water it, you fertilize it, right? But once if you're losing the patience to wait for it to grow, you tend to like pull it up.
Oh, really?
You thought your act of pulling were gonna help them grow faster. That's when the plant will get bitter. Right? You get like, yeah, that's why this proverb is saying that it has its own timing, we need to take into account of time in that essence, in that formula of whatever we are building right now. We might not see the fruits, just like planting durian tree. You know how many years for a durian tree to be?
More than 10?
5 years minimum.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to plant something simple like what we call it the bean sprout. Sprout bean or bean sprout? Sprout bean, yeah. It's just like you can do it in a hydroponic thing and then it will grow by itself. Just a few days that you can see from a seed, then it grows. But the value of that, it's very low. But a durian tree, it has its own value because it takes 5 years to have its first durian.
Wow.
You get what I mean? The investment of why by the way, we are in Malaysia, that's why my context is how many Musang King, the durian that we export to China and how much it's sold, it is selling over there. Because it's a value, because people have like a whole, how many acres of durian tree, because people are willing to invest time in it. That's why they got durian tree. Right?
I see it now. Talking about Malaysia. What is going on with Milo? What is going on with Milo? Like, I remember walking on the street, I was trying to get some water, and they were saying, Milo. And I said, no, I want a bottle of water. I need water. And it's like, Milo. It was harder to find a bottle of water than finding Milo.
Is it the first time you're having Milo?
Well, we got some Milo in the past,
Okay, let me debunk the myth of Milo in Malaysia. We grow up with it. What's wrong, right? We have been instilling since when we were a kid, right? That drinking Milo is a great way to start your day. It's like a morning kind of drinks for kids,
okay.
So that it energizes you, it gives you energy, power through your day. And they always associate the brand with athletes, with with drinking this drink, you can get all the energy that you need for the day.
Are you gonna be on the cover of Milo?
No. Actually, there's like a lot of controversial YouTuber talking about how much sugar content in Milo. Okay. Yeah, they are. If you guys take a look and that's how they say we are being sugared since young. But yeah, this is the Malaysian kids kind of stuff. You're right.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, by the way, I'm guilty because I even have like a 3-in-1 Milo in my room right now. Sometimes I just crave for it. It's like once in a while I feel like drinking Milo.
The whole country is addicted to Milo, and it's like, chill out, man. Chill out.
Yeah.
You know it tastes good, right? It gives you energy, right? So come now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's about Milo with Malaysian kids. Generally, if you go everywhere, you will see the billboard with like how they associate Milo as like an energy drink.
And now, something that I also observed is like there is a tiger everywhere.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
on the beer, there is a tiger.
Yeah,
What is
okay.
going on with the tiger?
Oh, this is not a Malaysian thing, okay? So Chinese New Year is coming, right? It's just 2 weeks, 2 weeks away from now. So in Malaysia, we celebrate 3 major festive seasons, like Hari Raya, which is celebrated by our mostly Malay friends. And then we have Deepavali, which is celebrated by our Malaysian Indian friends. And we have Chinese New Year in Malaysia that is celebrated Malaysian Chinese. Basically, we Malaysians just like to celebrate the festive seasons, okay? It's like every festival is like everyone's festival, okay? So if you see the tiger, it's actually a zodiac sign, okay? In our China zodiac history. So we actually have 12 animals, okay? Okay, if you want more content of this, I will send you like, what does it mean by the zodiac sign?
Or the people can find it on the description.
Yeah, the zodiac sign, right? So we have like 12 animals, and now it's the turn, this year is the turn of tiger. We are entering the year of tiger. Yeah, it's not the beer Tiger brand, okay? So Tiger can mix a lot of like, Tiger brand beer, they can make a lot of gimmick about this year because it's their year, okay? But it represents Tiger. Like I was born in the zodiac sign of goat, G-O-A-T, and we have like okay, let me count that 12 for you. Because I need to remember it in Mandarin. So Su means red. Like last year, I think 2 years ago was red. Su Niu means what do you call that?
It's a different kind of pig, right?
No. I don't think we call it cow, but there's another word for it. Cow. Yeah, but there's another word for it. I cannot remember. The tiger. Now is the year of is the turn of tiger. Then rabbit. Then dragon. Snake. Horse. Goat. Monkey. Then yes, ox. Chicken. No, sorry, we don't call that chicken roaster, sorry. Roaster. How many more?
Maybe one more.
Dog.
Okay.
So 12 zodiac signs. So it's like 12 years is one round. So now we are at the year of tiger.
And those are.
It's a traditional history kind of stuff.
They also are according to an element like water, fire.
Yes. So in China, like in the ancient time, there are history about all these like the elements like what you just mentioned, like fire, earth, what else? Water,
wind. I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
Lightning.
Gold.
Metal. Okay. So I really don't know about
Yeah, there are these
how they are
elements.
differentiated, how they are connected.
I would say it's a different aspects. Yeah, like we have something called 八字. It's like the time that we born represents something.
So it's not the same a tiger of water than a tiger of earth.
You are very right. This year is the tiger of water. There is something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why people have been joking. That's why people have been joking with the beer. And look at that, the tiger of water.
Yeah.
But it means something, right?
Yes, it means something. Yes. That's why we believe this year is really a year of transformation. You see, 2 years ago, when there is a year of red, that's the year when COVID has started.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, just our Chinese saying, whenever you see a rat, you feel like you just want to get rid of the rat, right? So that's where the rat energy it started in COVID. It started COVID. So that's how we relate. And then we talk about the year of the bull. Okay, bull, B-U-L-L, yeah? Bullish, okay? Yeah, sorry, it's not cow, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's a year of bull. Yeah, last year is the year of bull. That's why there's still tension. Bullish market, right? That's why we believe in the energy like everything is still in very tension mode. And we talk about this year, whenever you see the shopping mall, there are a lot of tiger decoration and all. Because we believe this year is according to the zodiac sign and everything, this is the year of tiger and it represents the year of transformation. So we are really looking forward to a lot of recoveries from pandemic, from the whole energy, and it's also a year of bravery, determination, growth and success. Yeah. It's not just any usual tiger year, you're right. It's that this tiger comes with water. Yeah, it's not the beer, but it's the water element of tiger, yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have the opportunity to talk because how I can discover these topics.
Yeah, you definitely. I think you are in a way You're very interested. I think into understanding how the ancient time during that time how those emperors in China they rely on all this metaphysics element like how they understand energy of their enemy, how they understand the world, the wisdom from the east, I would say. Yeah, it all starts from nature. Yeah, like just now you mentioned the earth, the metal, the water, the fire. Yeah, we all have the energy. That's why in Chinese we believe in feng shui.
Yeah, I
You heard of this, right? Yeah, I think this is a very interesting topic that you will be interested if you are on this spiritual seeking journey. Yeah, feng shui it's metaphysics and it's about energy. It's about I think you can look up to this person. You can search this person called Zhou Yiyang. Yeah, Zhou Yiyang. I will send you some of his IG and all. He can really translate feng shui in English. All his teaching to talk about the eclipse, how this eclipse affecting energy. That's why you can see there's a latest pavilion shopping mall open in another location. You went to the pavilion here, right?
What is a pavilion?
Pavilion is a shopping mall in KL, not yet. But generally you can see a lot of places. Let's say why they plant tree. Let's say why they put like two ornamental items in front. Like if you go and travel around, basically everything it's the energy field.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, just as simple like when if we see somewhere it's very messy, how that messy location actually make you feel?
Messy place in PSG. When you see something that is not organized, you feel the chaos.
Yeah. Yes.
And you need a lot of energy.
Yes. Exactly. Like when if you visit China, like really like Beijing or Shanghai, you really go to like the old buildings and all. You will see they put a certain ornamental item in front. Okay, there is a meaning. Yeah. Like I myself, I believe in crystal. Crystal has a certain energy. Yeah. Plants. Certain plant has a different energy. Just when I talk about energy. Yeah.
I also heard that.
Yeah. Water has energy. We live in this dimension. There are different energy. So feng shui is about that. Like when we set up how we set up our room, where we put our thing.
Uh-huh.
There is a certain energy as well. So feng shui is all about that.
Wow.
Yeah, and even the time that we were born, that could be calculated like what's your star sign. It's not horoscope, by the way. It's not that 12 horoscope.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is a real one.
yeah,
Wow.
it's like we even take into account what time you came to this world, and there is like a certain framework that you could apply to look at how your fate looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a lot of teachings, in different teachings of.
It's so impressive that there is so
Yeah.
much knowledge out there and we are sometimes unaware. Maybe that's been the word of this podcast episode.
Okay. So much, right?
So much to keep talking, and I'm very glad that we got the opportunity.
Yeah.
So tell me how people can find you. Are you on internet? Are you on Instagram?
Oh, just Penny Leong. Just
Okay.
Penny Leong Peggy, that's all. That's
Are
all.
you on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
No.
So.
Are you on Getter?
Where?
Getter, that's another Twitter.
Oh no, I don't. I'm so
Okay.
sorry, I think I'm very ancient. By the way, so sorry. I only have my IG, that's the thing I have.
So no even Facebook, no email, but I believe you have email. Right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Don't worry, I think you can reach to Fabian, and maybe I'll attach this on the video.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Well, we are very glad that you got the chance to talk with us.
Thank
So,
you.
folks, once again, thank you for sharing this time with all of you. So take care out there and see you when I see you.